Kasdorp. My name is Yuri from Mouse, and we are back in 23 Season 2 on iRacing. We're back in the GT3s, and we're going to be starting off driving Sebring. So of course, it's going to be good prep for the Sebring 12 hours in a couple of weeks' time. We're in the Audi. Nice car to drive. Couple tricks up our sleeve around this track. Let's have a look at how this looks like. Right, so here we are. Started the lap, started the season, exciting new season ahead. Driving in the Audi. I feel like the Audi is going to be like a safe choice. It's good over one lap, it's pretty good on the tires, it's pretty good on the fuel. So depending on Bob, it should also be a good choice for the 12 hours. Of course, we got the tarmac on the left side there now. Coming up to turn 1. Want to make sure to brake not too much while you're turning, because that upsets the car too much. Turn 2, look for the 2 cones, brake just before that. Open up on 4, try to set up for a good exit. Got to run it to the hairpin. For the hairpin, I'm braking just before the 3 cones. Just before the 3 cones here again. Tight in the middle here, and you can go to second here, but I like to keep it in third, keeps the speed up a bit easier. I've got a fast section coming up onto the back straight, in between the 2 and 3 cones here. You want to use the inside curbs everywhere here. Run it to the back straight, and last corner I tried to brake around the 1 cone on the left side, but that's after I've already started to turn in. And that's the lap around Sebring and the Audi. Alright, so here we are, start of the lap. Turn 1, we want to run all the way to this edge in the wall here. So we want to run a straight line towards this edge in the wall, and around this edge we press the brake. And we want to make sure that we're not braking too much after this first straight line braking. If we're braking too much towards the apex while we're turning, because it's a high speed corner, the rear will get very loose and we'll have to start counter steering. So we brake quite hard here while we're going in a straight line. And then after we start turning in, immediately come off the brakes quite hard. And when we do this, you see the rear is the limiting axle of the car here. When we come off the brakes quite early, and quite a lot, it means that we can carry a lot more speed into the corner without actually losing that rear under the car. And then we want to aim for this cone here on top of the fence. It's not there for no reason. It's what you can use as a reference for the apex. And then slowly keep the throttle up for the exit here. Careful to not run wide on the gravel there, because that's going to be an off track. Turn 2, I use the 2 cones and brake a bit before that. What that comes down to is about in the middle here. But again, if we go to the onboard, we're close to the point to the 2 cones when we start braking. Make sure to turn in late, and then you want to hit this point of the curb here. You can follow it since the first kink in the curb, but you can also keep it a bit wider, but you want to hit this point of the curb there. Make sure to exit turn 3 towards the right to open up 4. And then throttle early to get a good run onto the back straight here. Then we got the big run to the hairpin coming up. And what's important in the hairpin is the exit more so than the entry. Want to brake just before the 3 cones here. I go all the way down to first gear. And then make sure that you got nice rotation in the car here by not again being on the brakes too late and kind of overshooting the corner. That way we want to be on throttle while we're on the apex here and carry good speed out of the corner. Again, to get a good run to the next straight, it's quite a long straight again. And for the next corner, we want to braking it almost at the 3 cones here. So slightly before it. Down to second gear. There's 2 lines you can do in this corner here. You can either keep it very tight, and that will gain you a bit of speed in the next left-hand kink. Or you can run quite wide here to almost the outside curb, which gains you a bit of time initially, but loses you a bit of time in the next left-hand kink. I found both lines to work reasonably well. Then we're running to Water Tower corner, and I think this corner is one of the most tricky corners and underrated corners on the track. Want to brake just before the 2. And again, just like in turn 1, make sure you're not braking and turning too much at the same time. You can go down to second gear to get a bit more rotation in the car, but I like to keep it in third to keep the speed up. To not have a necessary engine braking for the corner. And we get to the very fast end of the track. I'm braking in between the 2 and 3 cones here. Make sure again you're braking in a straight line. What you can do here is you want to make it easy for yourself. You want to line the car with the left white line here as soon as you can, and that's just going to make it easier braking and loading the right the right corners for the next curve. That means you can take this inside curb here, but make sure if you do that to not enter from here and have your line towards the turning point from the middle of the track, because that's going to make you turn more than you really want to, and you're going to be braking in a curve, which is going to slow you down. And you can go over this curve here on the right side. Careful of the slowdown. If you go too much with the left side tires on the curb here, you will get a slowdown. Then this curb is slightly higher, so our approach is slightly different. And our approach here is to have the left side tires, try to hook them on this edge of the curb here. You can go slightly over it. It's very tricky to hook them here. If you go slightly over it, you lose a bit of rotation, but it should still be all right. If you go too much over this, the car is going to bounce straight. So you want to make sure to put your tires on the edge here and kind of hook them, and that's going to kind of grab the car and pull it to the left side, which is what we're looking for. Then we're braking very far on the left side here. Again, like really far off what you would think the track is, but it's not an off track. And the reason we do this is to try to get a better exit onto the back straight. Again, while we're turning and braking here, make sure to not brake too much. And then you can either do with the right side tires on this curb or go completely over it. You don't want to do what we did in the last corner, which is kind of hook the tires here. What it's going to do here is just going to make the car understeer because the curb is a bit lower. So you want to either run all the way over it like I'm doing, or run your right side tires just on this, which is going to give you a bit better exit onto the straight, but it's going to compromise your entry quite a lot. So I like this line here. And then of course you use all the curb on the left side. And then last corner, just like all the other corners we talked about, you don't want to combine the brake too much while you're turning. To be able to brake more than you would if you're just doing one smooth turn, I make sure that I'm on the left as much as I can here, then start turning while I'm still flat out. And then the moment I'm on the brakes, I try to have a bit of as much straight line braking as I can. So we're turning here, you aim the car to the inside, and then just before you get to this curve in the line, here is what I use as a reference, I brake almost in a straight line here for a bit. And then the more I start turning again, the more I need to come off the brakes. And then you want to start aiming for this inside here. Try to get a good exit. And then they paved this bit on the left side here in the new update. You can go over it, but it's on a bit of an incline, so it makes the car understeer. So it's not that good to use it, but it's better than the gas. If you're going a bit wide here, don't be afraid to use it, but make sure to not understeer into the tire wall there. And then that's the lap around Sebring and the R8. So there we go. A quick guide on how to handle the bumps around Sebring in the Audi. lovely car to drive. I wish you guys good luck if you're driving this week, and also if you're driving the 12 hours. If you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.